Buddy Kofoid and Corey Day go to war. Kyle Larson suddenly tough stretch of races. The Summer Nationals needs to do better. James McFadden is back, and Longhorn Chassis makes news yet again. Let's go. It's Wednesday, June 11th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Today's daily show is being supported by our friends at Aerovision. They've got a pack weekend coming up with 3 racing events to tune into. That includes the Comp Cam's Super Dirt Series late models at Magnolia Motor Speedway for the Clash at the Mag. They race Friday for $5,000 to win, Saturday for $12,000 to win. Billy Moyer leads the championship after 5 races with Timothy Culp, Tony Jackson Jr., Cade Dillard, and Tyler Stevens all winning so far. Grab an account and watch both of these over at www.aerovision.live. Also coming up is the Friday night midseason mayhem at Arrowhead Speedway. Their championship series will be in action with hot laps starting at 7 p.m. local time. You can stream it if you can't attend. And Saturday night, Aerovision will have the Greg Hodnett Memorial live from Riverside International Speedway. 360 sprint cars will headline the night. That also includes 305 sprints, late models, modifieds, and stock cars. All season long, Aerovision is the streaming home for the Comp Cam Super Dirt Series, the All-American Outlaw Modified Series, and Arrowhead Speedway. You can grab an account and tune in over at aerovision.live. Last night was one of those sprint car races where you look at the box score, you see Buddy Kofoid led all 40 laps for the win, and you probably make some assumptions about what you think went on. But if you didn't get a chance to watch, definitely go back and check out last night's high-limit feature from Eagle Raceway. Kofoid did pick up a big payday, but that was one of the more ferocious races through lap traffic I think we've seen in a while. And it was a product of 2 young California racers just completely up on the wheel. Kofoid spent most of the race trying to hold off Corey Day, who was absolutely wringing the neck of that Jason Myers-owned 14. Last night was one of those races that reminds me why I like watching sprint cars. 40 laps around Eagle, 2 guys going as hard as the cars and track would allow. Unfortunately for Day, who threw a couple of huge sliders at Kofoid trying to get the lead, his night came to an abrupt and ugly end with 5 to go. He told Tony Laporta that he thought earlier contact with Kofoid hurt his front end, and after making contact with the backstretch wall, Day ended up out of the ballpark in turn 3. It was a wild moment, but great to see him emerge okay. His quote afterwards was, "I wasn't lifting, it's $55,000 to win." When guys are racing each other that hard, this is the obvious other end of what's possible. After the restart, Kofoid was able to hold on for the win, topping a charging Anthony Macri and Aaron Reitzel. Incredible stuff, though, from Kofoid and Day, and I like when we see a driver get out of the car kind of out of breath during the victory lane interview. That's usually a pretty good sign. Down through the field, it was a tough night for several big contenders. Rico Abreu needed a provisional after missing the B-main transfer. He finished 18th. Brent Marks also with a tough night in 19th. And Carson Macedo and Kyle Larson DNF'd after getting caught up in a crash that started with Spencer Basin and Danny Sams. Larson, with just kind of a brutal night overall, started early with what looked like maybe a motor going south in qualifying. He was then playing catch-up all night, then gets caught up in a crash. Back-to-back DNFs for Young Money and 3 crashes in his last 6 starts. If you were curious, we did end up with 5 outlaw drivers in attendance that included Kofoid, Cole and Carson Macedo, plus Gio Scelzi and Garrett Williamson. With a couple weeks off now, Brad Sweet's championship lead is 10 points over Tyler Courtney. Reitzel, Rico, and Marks hang on to the top 5 spots. High Limit was supposed to head next to Lake Ozark on June 25th, but that race was a bit quietly canceled here recently. Just a short mention at the bottom of our release from last week. Instead, the series added another night to the Lucas Oil Speedway event, so Wheatland now hosts High Limit June 26th through June 28th. In late model action last night, Billy Moyer outdueled Mike Harrison at Brownstown to take the Summer Nationals opener. The 2 traded the lead, but Moyer took control for good on lap 18. Harrison, Shannon Babb, Brandon Shepard, Tanner English were the rest of the top 5. That was the 101st career Hell Tour win for Moyer, who is now tied with Shannon Babb for the most all time. Going forward, though, I hope the time management is better for the rest of the next month. That late model show didn't end until after midnight Eastern, which is just not good enough for a Tuesday night show with a multiple-hour drive ahead for the teams. Maybe we don't need to run 4 divisions on a Tuesday night special. The night's modified win went to Trey Jacoby, his first ever with the series. He topped Trevor Neville. The Summer Nationals go again today at Kankakee. And with Appalachian Mountain Speed Week, Mason Zeigler, a flag-to-flag winner at Path Valley. He topped Rick Eckert and Dylan Yoder. App Speedweek is off today with things picking back up again on Thursday at Selinsgrove. Later on today, the NARC Sprint Cars begin the fastest 5 days in motorsports as they begin their trek north to Super Dirt Cup at Skagit. They race today at Southern Oregon Speedway, then Douglas County Thursday, Cottage Grove Friday, Willamette Saturday, and Grays Harbor on Sunday. Then it's $100,000 to win at Skagit. That happens June 19th through the 21st. Tonight will be the debut of James McFadden in the Tarleton 21 as he's back in the States after the Australian sprint car summer. McFadden will race some on the West Coast plus several national shows in the next few months while Tanner Holmes slides back over to the family-owned 18T. Holmes will then take the 21 back over this fall. I'd say McFadden is going to be a heavy favorite at some of these West Coast races coming up. Shane Golubic currently leads DJ Neto in the NARC standings, but I guess we'll see a lot of movement there as it's pretty common for a lot of the California guys to stay away from some of these races up north, but plenty of sprint cars after dark here coming up. Final topic for today. This one I got tagged in a bunch yesterday. News came that we are seeing just a bit of consolidation in the dirt late model chassis game. Longhorn Chassis and Stuckey Enterprises announcing a, quote, strategic merger to further propel strategic innovation and performance in dirt racing, unquote. Sounds very strategic. This means no more new Black Diamond chassis will be built, with car construction being consolidated to Longhorn space here in North Carolina. The new Longhorn by Stuckey will continue operating out of their Shreveport, Louisiana shop, providing setup, service, and legacy support to Black Diamond customers. Ronnie Stuckey was quoted in the announcement as saying, teaming up with Longhorn gives us the platform to innovate faster, support our racers better, and continue building championship-winning equipment. I have yet to seek any sort of reaction from industry friends on this one, but I do see a few things here kind of from afar. First, Longhorn now gets access to another late model chassis mind, with Stuckey in the mix with their current brain trust. It's also potentially a way to add more customers to Longhorn's book, as Stuckey can bring along his current list of teams, who could then in the future look to buy cars, plus things like services from Longhorn Dynamics. And not that there is any mention of this in the release, I just want to make that clear, but just spitballing myself here, I can see this being a longer-term exit plan for Stuckey. He's 57 years old at this point. He can stop building cars, just focus on service and ideas and innovations, and in the future, doesn't have to now unload a business. Again, that's just me thinking out loud, but I do see gains here for both sides. The reactions to this one are about what you would expect, some positivity and congratulations, but also talk of monopolies and raising costs. There's still a whole list of chassis builders out there, so one merger doesn't create a monopoly. Longhorn is the dominant player at the moment, so anything they do will draw the ire of some fans and industry people, but curious your thoughts on this one. Leave your comments below. Last thing, given the Scott Bloomquist news yesterday regarding the NTSB findings on his plane crash from last year, if you or someone you know is struggling, understand that you are not alone. You can call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988 anytime. It's free, confidential, available 24/7. Again, call or text just those three numbers, 988. Please take care of yourself, check on those around you, and reach out when you need support. Hope you guys have a great Wednesday out there. We will see you right back here tomorrow.